Happy I am 911 Day. I am at the 15-year mark in public safety. I have been an emergency operator for 20 years, 4 years with the state, and the last 14 with a local agency in my state. How did I end up here? Well, I one of my most favorite people in the whole wide world is my cousin Lawrence, and he's a firefighter. And when I first decided that I really wanted to be an operator, I wanted to be the best. And to me, one of the things that I heard working for the highway emergency response team was that we didn't understand what it was like to be in the truck. So I didn't feel very comfortable riding with them. But I did feel comfortable reaching out to my cousin and saying, hey, I want to come hang out at the station. And he warned me against third rider syndrome. But I was very fortunate to be able to go there, and I got hooked. I would go and ride a lot, a ridiculous amount. I was single, I didn't have any kids, all I had was one rescue dog, so I was going once or twice a week and hanging out for 8 to 12 hours, just trying to understand what it was like to receive the calls and how important the information is, and just all of the things that he was experiencing as a firefighter so that I could be a better operator. I stayed with the state for 4 years, and then I looked for greener pastures, which I thought was public safety dispatching. I love what I do. Don't get me wrong. I work with some truly, truly amazing people. The guy who trained me, I cannot say enough about him, to the point that he was in my wedding. So he's an amazing officer now. He had to train his replacement, which is me. I've been there for 15 years, so obviously I was the right choice. But I love what I do. I love to help people, and I love to make a difference in my community. I live in the community that I dispatch in, so that's also a very special connection. It's hard to say what is my best and my worst call. Some calls are harder than others. I unfortunately have been on the end of more sad calls than happy calls to a certain extent. I will say that for me, having two German Shepherds and having to have an officer humanely end the life of a German Shepherd was a very difficult call. And there have been calls with children that, as a parent, I put myself in their place, and it's not easy. My best calls: 4-alarm fire at an apartment complex with no casualties, not even a bird. A lady would not jump from the 3rd floor unless we caught her bird. We caught her bird, we caught her, and it was an amazing night. I didn't know that I could work that hard on adrenaline, on just the rush, unfortunately, of being at a small agency and not having enough officers, calling sister agencies, asking for help, forward thinking, incident management, calling American Red Cross, like making those necessary calls, and then the road supervisor coming back and saying, hey, I really appreciate that you had the forethought, that your partner had the forethought to make these calls, get these people the help that they needed before they realized that they didn't have a place for the night and they needed a place to stay, that they needed help from the American Red Cross. Like, that's one of the best calls. It's one of the beacons in my little dispatch headband that I like to wear. I cannot imagine not being a 911 operator. It has its ups and it has a lot of downs, but I'm very thankful to be a part of my community. I am very thankful to have the opportunity to be a lifeline to people in need, to my officers, to keep them going, to laugh with them, to argue with them, just all of the gamut of emotions that we go through. I'm very thankful for that. You can't get along with everybody, and so there are people who don't love me, but it doesn't matter whether or not they love me. My job is to get them to the end of the shift, and I've never lost a single blue, and I'm very thankful for that as well. Not on my watch. with that said, I am Gudrun, and I am 911.